Hi, welcome to the clinic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming in today. How was your drive over here?
Traffic was okay. It wasn't that bad, and I didn't have any trouble finding the place. So yeah, it was good.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the modality of therapy that we practice here at the clinic. I just want to let you know we practice cognitive behavioral therapy here. And, this is a mode of therapy that's very goal oriented. And we kind of seek to, look at your negative thought patterns that might be weighing you down or causing difficulties in your life. And, we try to determine a variety of techniques or strategies that we can use to kind of change those negative thought patterns and get you out of that loop so we can, have your thoughts be more beneficial in your life. So does that sound something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I want to talk about some of your beliefs surrounding what brought you in today and talk about how they're affecting you. So what brings you into counseling today?
Well, I've recently moved away from home for the first time. Um, and I've gone away to college. I'm living in a different state. I'm studying. I'm pursuing something I'm really passionate about, and I'm excited to be here, but I'm feeling really guilty for having left my family because I felt like, I helped my family out in a lot of ways. I helped my parents with my little sisters. I just did things around the house and I liked being there. And so I'm just feeling really guilty. And I know it's natural for kids to grow up and move out, but I'm feeling guilty for leaving and not being there to help out around the house.
So I kind of heard two main feelings in all of this for you. You're feeling guilty because you're away from your family and you feel like, they've had you in life and you've been helping them, with all the house and your sisters and maybe a little bit of regret that you're away at school and you're pursuing your passion while you left them at home. Does that sound kind of like a synopsis of the problem?
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Well, let's talk about some of the things you said and what they mean for you. Now, you said you're feeling guilty about leaving your family. What, let's go through that. What is feeling guilty about leaving your family? How does that affect you? How do you view yourself as a result of that?
I think feeling like I left my family, it kind of makes me feel like I'm not a good person, like I'm being selfish because it was, kind of easy for me to go and pursue the things that I wanted to pursue and have all these fun experiences. And I'm not there to help out my family, so I'm being selfish because I'm only focused on the things that I want and my life. And so I think for me, it just means that I guess in my head, I'm not as good of a person as I used to be because I used to be there to help them and now I'm not.
Sure. And I'm just going to be taking some notes here, just so I can, stay on track and look back on this when we come back. So just letting you know about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I'm hearing that you're feeling maybe some regret that you're at school pursuing your passion and they're at home without you. Is that does that sound kind of like what you're saying?
Yeah. I had these dreams, to go away to college to pursue all of these things that I've always felt so passionate about. I got a scholarship to play softball and I've always dreamed of playing sports in college. But yeah, there's a part of me that regrets choosing a place that's so far from home because it limits my ability to be, I guess, a member of my family, I feel like.
Well, congratulations on getting the scholarship. That's a huge accomplishment. Good
Thank
for
you.
you. And
Thank
now,
you.
where is home for you? You said you're away at school and you're far from your family. Just for my notes, where is home for you?
Well, home for me is, near about 40 minutes from Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, and I'm living in Asheville, North Carolina. So it's only 4 hours, which in the grand scheme of things isn't, a long distance, but with school and friends and sports and stuff, it is hard for me to get home a lot. So it feels like it's 40 hours.
No, that makes complete sense. So now I want to read you a list of core beliefs that most people have. These beliefs drive people, and usually they subconsciously drive people. They don't know that they're actually doing this. And core beliefs can be your biggest fear. Now, if these beliefs are true, I'm going to go through the list and you can go ahead and tell me which ones you think are going to be true. They can be devastating for you. So now as I'm reading, I just want you to see if there's any of these beliefs that might apply to you based on what we just discussed. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So now number 1, there is something wrong with me. Number 2, I'm unlovable. If I love someone, I'm sorry, number 2, I am unlovable. Number 3, if I love someone, they will leave me. Number 4, the world is a dangerous place. Number 5, I'm not good enough. Number 6, I'm different or an outsider. Number 7, you have to be happy to be liked. Number 8, everything is my fault. Number 9, I'm special. Do any of those sound like anything you're going through?
I think the biggest one would be I'm not good enough, because I don't feel like I'm being good enough to my family. But I think along with that, there's a little bit of feeling like when I go back home, I'll be an outsider because I missed out on the things that they did at home while I was away. And a little, I am unlovable, but I am unlovable if I'm not being helpful. I guess kind of the out of sight, out of mind mentality. If I'm not there being helpful, then I guess they will forget about me. They won't love me as much. So those 3, but I think the biggest one would be I'm not good enough.
Of course. So now that kind of says to me it's a little bit of a a cognitive distortion. You could be jumping to conclusions about these things that you're going through, and you feel this way, but your family might not feel that way. And I'm sensing a little bit of I'm hearing you say you should be home, and you were home before, and that's the self-defeating way that we talk to ourselves, because what you're going through is normal. You're pursuing your dreams, you're pursuing your goals, and I don't want you to get so down on yourself for what you're doing and being away from your family, even though I know it's such a difficult situation. It really is. um, Now, are there certain things that you find yourself saying in conversation, or doing in your everyday life, that might kind of point you back to feeling some of these beliefs?
Um, I think with I'm not good enough and I'm unlovable if I'm not being helpful, I
Hmm.
always find myself trying to make sure that other people are comfortable. In conversation, I'm always making sure, is the other person enjoying this? Or, my actions I always try to take care of the people around me. And I think that a little bit of that is that feeling that I am only necessary, or I'm only worth love if I'm being helpful.
Sure. So you feel like you should be helping every person in your life, and if you're not, you're feeling a little bit of a sense of worthlessness from that. Well, that's totally
Yeah.
understandable. But those are the kind of beliefs that we want to try to alter those, so you're not feeling so weighed down by these feelings. Now, what would a conversation look like for you if you weren't feeling weighed down by this guilt and trying to uphold these expectations that you should be taking care of everyone in your life, and if not, you might be unlovable?
I think generally in conversation, I would be, I guess, more honest, because I'd be more willing to share as well. Most of my conversations, I kind of encourage the other person to share. I ask questions, I listen, I want to make sure that they're feeling heard and that they are enjoying the conversation. So I kind of put my thoughts or what I might want to share to the back. And I think in a conversation where I wasn't feeling these things, I would share equally. It would be a more evenly distributed conversation.
It'd be more reciprocal relationship. You would be able to, open up and kind of have, them give back to you also, which is something that's good. That's very healthy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to do an experiment with you. Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, sure.
I want to see if, these beliefs and these negative distortions that we've uncovered for you is universal or if there are exceptions to this. Do you have any people in your life that you would consider to be a support system?
Yeah, my parents obviously, but I think right now, because I'm away from home, like we've been talking about, my
Right.
biggest support system here would be my best friend. We live together, we play softball together. I think she's the person that I'm the most myself, the most honest with.
Great. Well, now I want to challenge you to just be completely honest with her about, what's going on with you and how you're feeling and how you're feeling like, you should always be there for your family and you're not lately and you're feeling really weighed down by this guilt. And I want you to seek her advice on, what your next steps could be. Do you think that's something you could do?
Yeah, I think it'll be out of my comfort zone because I'm always, looking for what other people need. I think it'll be new, but good for me to have someone else think about what I might need and help me kind of figure that out.
And I think she plays softball with you. She lives with you. She's your best friend. She's definitely a person that loves you in your life. Um, and I think it will be uncomfortable for you, but it will be a good step for you to kind of put that back out there and get some of the reciprocal love that you need. So do you think that this is something that you could do and it would be realistic for this conversation this week?
Yeah, you're right. I think it'll be a little uncomfortable for me at first, but I think, yeah, I'm excited to try it.
Great. Well, I'm really excited to see how this conversation goes, and I want to see if, this does anything to make you feel, that other people can give back to you, and, you shouldn't have to, just take care of everyone around you because you need some love too, and, you need some support too. And I look forward to, hearing how this goes for you. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming in today and being so honest with me. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
See you then.